How
You're only
sorry
if,
do you need me to be? Come on.
I mean, like begging would be fantastic, but hey, nobody got time for that.
Streaming, you say? Streaming.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, just look at guns for the rest of the night.
I mean, we can, but that's kind of far out from our usual subject matter.
That's fair.
I don't mind. Like, I know enough about guns to be interested in guns, but like, I don't know how much I'd have to add to that particular conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of like, I like this because it looks cool. That's basically what it would end up being. For the record, if I could get my hands on a functional, I don't even care what caliber, but if it looked like the the Magnum pistol from Halo, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. With the digital readout on it, yeah, that's so stupid. It'd be fantastic.
I like this idea that you're just gonna get some like futuristic gun. Oh, with the digital.
And it just shoots in like 9mm or something. I'd be okay with that.
So apparently, Justin there is in a rank C game. I don't know.
C game?
It's a rank C.
That's pretty rank.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
I
rank.
think it's special.
ranked.
Yeah.
I meant rank as in like stinky. But
Yes.
But C game, I have no idea. Ranked? Sure. All right, good for you. Have fun. I'm not that invested in the game right now enough to bother playing ranked because I would just have my ass handed to me.
Indeed. Handed.
Matt, this happened last week too. I'm not getting any of the chats, like, for
Not
several
refreshing
minutes.
for
Yeah,
some reason.
which is weird because I'm looking at it from the studio platform, so I don't know what that's about. But oh well.
It is very interesting, but
Three see it before we did.
As long as somebody does, as long as somebody can talk to people out there.
well, some people talk. Some people just sit around not talking.
That would be the audience, Dennis. That would be the audience. Well, I mean, I don't know what they're doing at home. Maybe they're talking to people. It's none of my business.
Maybe they're talking to us. Maybe they have a conversation going on.
Nobody knows it.
And really, they're just really upset about the lack of engagement. It's
Okay. Well, I have a new fear.
Just people screaming at you, but you can't hear them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Ben?
Cheers, man.
Ben, thanks for joining us.
Speaking of new fears, what's everybody
Delicious
carrying
beer.
tonight?
Delicious beer, you say.
I wish I had some delicious beer. I've just got Coke Zero.
Stanson, 357. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You're jumping into carry options like we're ready to actually do this. Like
Wow. Bold
We
of me
should
to
be.
assume.
we've been pushing 2-hour streams the last couple times. We need to get this thing rolling, keep it a little shorter for the good Lord.
Yeah, I think so.
You can just call me Paul.
No.
No, I'm not doing it for you.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. Cheers.
Sour Patch Kid. Love Sour Patch Kids. That was the
Is that what he's drinking or what he's carrying?
probably yes. Just gonna be terribly non-specific about that one. Let you guys figure it out. For years, that was a snack of choice for myself.
That explains a couple things.
Just the general hyperactivity followed by rapid crashing. Yeah, it's never grew out of that. Yeah.
Which is funny because that also describes your chinchilla. So
Yes, and my kitten recently, actually. Yeah, it's just all vibing.
I'm convinced people buy themselves as pets.
I mean, yeah.
Is that why I like old pets? That's
Yeah.
Secretly an old man.
Secretly. There's nothing secret about this shit.
Hey man, I'm rolling over another decade marker this month. You leave me alone. Jesus.
No, I feel bad enough about how old I am.
No, I'm going to rub it in to make myself feel better.
Yep. Because I'm an asshole like that.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about that for a whole nother year.
It happens. It happens. So, I'll go first. Sure. I was carrying stuff all weekend long. I went out hunting. It was the last day of grow season. Well, yesterday we went out for a bit. Meh, it was quiet on the dusty trail, but while I was there, I took a couple pretty pictures, and one of them was a McTops knife.
There we go.
The Viking Tactics. I don't even know what it's called. What is this? It's not the Valkyrie. It's something else. I can't even remember. It's pretty.
The
I
JX6.
What's that?
I said the JX6.
No.
I'm
No,
not-
it has a different finger groove than the JX6 is
It's
too
not
neutral, right?
They're totally not the same, but
It's not the Norseman. It might be the Norseman or the Patriot, one or the other. It's the Patriot. There it is.
I'm
Viking
not familiar enough with
Tactics.
Tops knives to really make a guess on that most of the time. I saw that hanging around in the back room for a few days. Yeah.
Working on the micarta. It's I roughed it up a little bit more, and then I was doing some oiling and some waxing, and I think I got it at almost a acceptable level of tackiness plus color contrast. It's not just showing off white from the resin and stuff, right? So
Right. Reminds
it's a
me of
fine
you
line.
too.
what wax did you use on it?
I used some beeswax that is actually for leather working stuff. And it seemed, I'm pretty sure any beeswax would probably help it quite a bit as far as sealing and stuff. But that was actually a tip I learned Tops, actually prepping for the SHOT Show this week. Had this thing where the guy was like waxing some of the micarta handles and stuff. And it was prettying them up. So I was like, interesting.
I
I'll
bet
steal
you
that.
a bit of extra traction too, yeah?
Yeah. Darkened the color up and then still kept the grippiness of the sanded. Anyway, so I was carrying that.
Very nice.
Decent.
Who next?
I can go next. If and you like.
You know the name of your knife?
I don't think the maker of my knife even knew what the name of the knife was. That's because it didn't have one. Come on, load.
Load. Do it.
It's carrying this guy today, the Voking T04, because that's a catchy name that you'll remember forever. As I double check, yeah, T04. You can't see it in the camera. Whatever.
The proof is in the pudding. This company still exists, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can still buy some of their stuff somewhere, sometimes. Yeah. Stedman Knives, a subsidiary. They were around for all of what felt like a year, 2 years. Yeah, it's a nice little knife. M390 sure acts like M390. Can't say for sure that's what it is, but it sure acts like it is.
That's what they all say.
Well, gotta get your credibility somewhere.
Yeah, if CRKT can claim it on the crossbones, then Voking can do it on.
I forget, was there ever any official source that said where the crossbones was being produced? The limited version? I don't actually know.
But it probably is going to be Lion Steel, if I were to guess.
But you think Line still knows how to make a frame lock properly? I can't actually design steel.
They do for their price. But
Yeah,
CRKT
yeah.
asked them to make a frame lock for CRKT prices, so they did.
Yeah, that's fair.
The price of a live steel frame lock is not the price of a CRKT, even a limited edition frame lock.
Yeah.
So,
Good evening, Black Frost. What is up?
Hey-yo.
yeah.
Yeah.
This thing really has the like, the Benchmade fact, or kind of like your, the Crossbones. That very like slender CEO kind of feel, and I dig that.
Yeah, I wish this knife was more widely available. I've shown it
I
to a
mean-
number of non-knife people, and they're like, "Wow, that's actually pretty slick." Like, yeah, it's not bad.
I suppose there at least has to be one guy that's the voice of reason when it comes to that blade shape, and just shake my head at both.
Hey
of
man,
you.
I'm not
But,
saying it's useful.
There they are.
Just that I like it.
yeah.
I may or may not have a
Yeah.
type. Like, I say as I set these things down next to my 8015.
I was like,
Anyway.
yeah.
Types with an S.
Yeah, I don't think I've been able to distill my preferred knife type into one particular model or type.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn. I've been sitting here patiently waiting, not opening my beer, with my little Tengu tool.
Yeah. He's cute.
It's just little.
It's the
just
same.
little.
It's the same head shake that I had for Crossbones. That's how bad that is, Paul. It's the same head shake. It's not even a different head shake.
He reused
I
it.
used the same one
This is
for
better,
this
bro.
moment. It's a better build. Yeah, we'll give it that.
Is it?
You got one with the shield that's flush at least.
I sure did. Although
Yeah.
this one's not. Yeah, no. It came at me at the right price, and now
It came at you. It came at you, bro.
It came at me, and it was like,
About
"Can I
that
go home
aggressively
with you?"
too.
And I was like, "Yeah, for that price, you can come home with me."
You heard it here first, folks. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I heard that in my head differently than it sounded when it came out of my mouth.
yeah, definitely hit the ears a little weird. Have
It's like you were. It's like you were standing at a table at a Make a Wish Foundation. Is that how it sounded in your head?
Oh,
It's
that doesn't even sound good.
Yeah, no, I wanted the full set,
That's fair.
and now I have a bottle opener that is pretentious enough to walk around with.
It sure is. Have you found much use for the little blade?
I haven't put it to its paces yet. I'm kind of thinking about doing like a week challenge, but I don't know.
It's a little bit scary,
I
hey?
don't know if you can do it.
Well,
I could
you
do
and
it
I.
with the Dragonfly. I don't know if I can do it with this. It's
So-
20 CV. It won't go dull, but
Weak challenge being that's the only knife you use, because I know you like to carry a lot of knives. You're kind of like
No,
Just carry
carry.
one.
Do it. Just carry one
Oh.
for a week. Yeah.
That's your only folder. You think you could do it?
no.
No. you
Even-
could, but you'd be twitchy after it was all said and done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'd be carrying twice as much afterwards.
Oh my Christ!
There's no need for that.
Make you
My pants wouldn't
appreciate
be able to stay up.
make you appreciate your collection a little bit more, though, don't you think?
I mean, I appreciate it pretty good.
Really
Stop
doesn't.
pressuring me into doing stupid things.
He really doesn't want to do it. Well, it wasn't our idea, so
No, that's fair. I did bring it up.
And trains with square wheels. I think this might be a first time joining. Apparently, he's on board with the making fun of Paul train about buying a Tango tool. So
excellent,
good times. Good times. Yeah.
as he should be.
Hey, man.
You just need to have it engraved this guy underneath the arrowhead. So every time you ask a question, you can just pull out your knife and point it towards him.
That's disgustingly cheesy. Thank you.
This guy.
I hate it.
You can do it on your knife. You've got more real estate to actually engrave something on the pocket knife.
Just the tip. That's it. Forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems unsatisfying.
Thank you for being judicious with your use of the word there.
I thought about it for a second before I released it. That's for sure.
Oh, shit. All right.
Oh,
Well,
we're off on that kind of foot tonight. That's cool.
yeah, so on that note, we're doing a part 2.
That Blade showers in board shorts might be the best comment I've ever read.
That's terrible. Thank you.
But then he's like, come at me, bro, as he's showering.
Don't say that in the shower.
All right, Reader's Choice Part 2.
Yeah.
Next category.
Next.
Yeah.
Well,
We did the first 5 last week. Yeah, it was okay.
what did we finish off on? Best new slip joint? Yeah, I think that's where we stopped.
Yeah, so we should be launching into Best New High-End Folder. Would be the one that we carried into this week.
Yes, just making sure I had the correct stuff open here. So,
I might have to tie a lanyard on this thing if I'm gonna. It's gonna have to happen.
you and your lanyards.
Yeah. That guy.
Stitch him a pair of board shorts,
So, I want to keep doing this.
Dangle a little.
Man, I'm really not digging this conversation. Just got, fellas, this is some of the most fucked up shit. Yeah.
No, not even close. Like,
No.
There's 3 years of garbage that we've got behind us that you can sort through.
There's a lot of
far from the most effed up. Yeah.
Absolutely. I wonder, it wouldn't be worth it, but I'd like to go back and make a compilation. And actually make it.
Just be funny.
Wonder what the runtime would be like. Anyway, I want to continue doing this the same way we did last week, where we show the winner and then go through the options.
Yeah, but we got to pick up the pace a little bit this time.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
So the winner was the Monterey Bay Knives Sea Otter. Monterey Bay Knives comes pretty highly regarded by most people at this point. So I don't, just knowing that, I don't know that it was necessarily the wrong choice. But the other options included the Arnaud Bernard Knives I Mamba. Let's get a quick peek at that guy. And all the different configurations here. All of which are sold out. That's cool. The Fox
It's
Knives
just
Yaru.
which is just a Menandy with a flipper, by the way. But
Actually,
anyway.
yeah. Okay, well, we'll have that discussion. We'll come back to that. The Yaru. Oh, yeah. Jesper Vux. Of course.
Which, if you just take a Siru and dip the blade down a little bit, now you can call it a different knife.
Okay, but at least it's made by the same company, so there's something there.
By the same designer.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a Siru, it's a Yaru.
Erase this section of this drawing that I have.
The James Brand Barnes, the reviled Barnes in some cases. They don't specify the exact option in a lot of these cases, but whatever. I think they're more interested in the platform.
This is the integral one, right?
Yeah.
Correct, sir. Yeah.
I'm so conflicted because I hate it.
I think the
But I
consensus. We'll come
It's
back
too
to
much.
this.
Anyway.
Exactly. We will come back to that comment. And the very last one is the Zero Tolerance 0990. Yeah.
So, yeah, comments. Well, first of all, Barnes is too expensive. Paul, get your head out of your ass. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. I love the looks of
I
that knife. It's
think-
the only James brand that I'm like, yeah, I like the look of that.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
probably why he's conflicted, is because it is a really nice looking knife.
But it just looks like a classic draw point. Like it's hard to screw it up type of thing.
And yet people do.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, we'll talk about CRKT later, but still.
Yeah.
They're not
All
charging
right.
$725 American. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the
I love
thing
the fact that they threw ZT a bone on this one and gave him a 990. They're like, come on. ZT
So-
still is high end.
the fact that it was the 990. Like, what were the other options? They had the shit. What was the blue Anna one? That we reviewed too.
See? Exactly. Memorable.
The names, dude. They don't have any fucking names.
No. What
It
was
had a
it?
blue backspacer on it. I forget what it was.
It was.
762?
It's in the 7 series.
762. Yeah.
Yeah.
762.
Like I would have expected that to appear instead of the 990. Like, really?
That's a fancier knife.
You think
More
the
high-end.
You think the 990 is a fancier knife?
No.
Okay.
No, the 762.
Yeah. So this is a. Yeah, I was gonna say this is a really weird choice, comparatively speaking.
Apparently, Black Frost agrees, but then he just wants to pick the Tiger Stripe 308, and we know that that's not actually a new knife from this year. It wasn't even a new upgrade for this year in that category. Even though it was an upgrade, they fixed the goddamn detent from the first one. But anyway,
That
it
seems
should
to
have
be
been
a-
in that category. Yeah.
That seems to be a theme with ZT. Is just like first initial releases, the detents just suck ass unless they're assisted, but then they get better in like the later serial numbers.
You say unless they are assisted, but they just don't have a D10 if they're assisted.
Can't
does
fuck
that
up-
mean that?
you can't
Does
fuck
that
up the
mean
detent.
does that mean the 7 of 7 is going to get better?
No, it's gonna take maybe, but it'll take twice as long because there's 2 detent holes to worry about.
Do you think the double detent still maybe why the 762 didn't? They were not happy with that action.
Well, they can shut up about it because the action on the 762 is fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's not as nice as like a drop shutty action for sure, but I gotta say I quite like the 770. Yeah, 707. Sorry, I can't even
Anyway.
remember the names of my own knives.
Anyway,
So, yeah.
other options we got.
Yeah, I'm not totally excited by that ZT choice. So there's the
No.
Barnes, which is goddamn expensive.
I don't know if I am excited about ZT as a choice this year, to tell you the truth. But yeah, the Barnes, yeah, that thing's ridiculous.
So here's the thing: the category is best high-end knife. I guess it doesn't really matter what the price is to a degree, but I still think that compared to everything else out of this list, 725 is it's a stretch, especially since you know that you're paying a premium for the brand name as opposed to just even the company who makes these. They make less expensive knives with the same construction and materials. So
An integral?
yeah. I'm forgetting the name of the knife, but I know there's at least 1 or 2 others that are integral made by it's Riot who does these, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thought you were talking
I'm not sure if it's Riot or not, but yeah.
And by all accounts, the machining is on point. Like, these are very nicely fit and finished knives, absolutely. But goddamn, that's a pill.
Is anybody else getting like it doesn't have the Tanto-y thing that the Ultramars have, but I'm getting a bit of like a Chavez kind of.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah. The blade shape
Which is
and
probably
the
why I like
The handle, the big, thick, chunky handle. He likes his square handles. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad choice just for the knife as an object, but I keep getting hung up on that price.
What does the Monterey Bay go for? The one that won.
Monterey Bay. Let's take a look at that actually, because I don't know if
$380 American on their website.
Okay. That's not cheap, but I mean,
Man,
No, especially
by all
for
accounts-
especially for CPM 154
is that what that is?
because it
for
looks
the
like
Monterey Bay. Yeah,
it just looks like a Sabenza.
They-
Honestly,
They do better than that. Why are they doing 154?
I don't know. That kind of sucks though.
good question. Good
Okay,
question.
so here's the thing for me. I think that not that this looks like a bad knife, and not that I dislike that steel. I like 154 CM. I like CPM 154 a bit more, mind you, but okay, it is CPM 154. I feel like if it's going to be a high-end knife that I'm going to be spending money on, I'd rather see things like more machining, more effort put into detail work, stuff like that. This doesn't look like it has all that much detail work to speak of. Like, it just looks like your basic titanium frame lock.
Looks like, yeah, for sure.
Like
Not
you said
again.
it before, it looks like a Sebenza.
Yeah, and not to say that it looks like a bad knife. It looks like it's fine. I'd probably enjoy owning and using it, but shit, I'd pick the Barnes over this. I don't care that it's over double the price. Like,
I don't know if I would myself. I mean, the big thing with this is just function. It just looks like it's pretty well built. Like, it's especially when you take that one picture with the barrel spacers and the blade centering, the blade stock thickness and how thin that handle is, you pretty much can't screw that up.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Well, if you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, there's not much room for error on that bad boy.
Yeah. Again, the fit looks fine. The finish looks fine, at least from what we can tell from these photos.
I mean, are we overpaying for it? Yeah, but did you see how much they were asking for a 990?
Yeah, that's true.
The thing that excites me about Monterey Bay, though, is they like to use like LC200s and Vanitas 4 Extra, and like they like doing the stuff that you can just drop your knife into.
Yeah. Van X35 or whatever type of,
Yeah. That's what I was hoping was in this knife. That's why I was excited about this thing.
Are there
Because it looks fine.
Do there happen to be any other options with upgraded blade steels? Like, I know they sometimes do variants.
You're a variant.
No, that's the only... Oh, there is a Magna Cut option. But
Really?
for 400 versus 380,
It's
a
only
$20
upgrade.
markup? Holy shit. Okay.
$20 to upgrade to Magna Cut? I changed my opinion. I like
Okay, so for me that eliminates the...
Take it back.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. The website links...
To the CPM 154. But it's an add to cart because the Magna Cut's still probably on pre-order.
Oh, but they talk about...
Yeah.
Hold on, they talk about Magna Cut in the write-up here, so they're not actually talking about the 154 variant. But they link to the 154. Knife News, get your shit together.
Don't worry about it.
That's so misleading.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so if we're going to give them benefit of the doubt, we're going to say Magna Cut. I'm not sure it entirely justifies a win here. But it's definitely a more attractive option for $20 more. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because I like the looks of that knife fine. The lines are clean.
Yeah. It's certainly
But
reminiscent of something that already exists, but sure.
Absolutely.
So
That's what I'm saying. I need
So
something to
Barnes.
make it exciting.
Yeah.
And let's round this out by speaking of Chris Reeve lookalikes, the Imamba from Arnold Bernard. It's how is that not a Menandy with a flipper? Yeah.
That mammoth molar is nice.
Well, you see.
No, that's just straight up exactly what that thing is.
S40 or RWL 34, which
Yeah.
I don't necessarily dislike, but yeah, for that price, yeah. Well, who do you think you are, Grimsmo?
Well, you're basically looking at 154 CM in terms of performance, and no, it's a nice looking knife. Again, nothing wrong with any of these, but
That molar is gorgeous.
It is, yes. I was gonna say something
about the Yaru maybe, or about the Imamba.
No, Arno Bernard. Oh yeah. As far as they go, they're already used to overpricing steel because they charge $400 for N690. So because that's a lot of their fixed blades, that's what they are, right? So
now, after a certain point, I get that you're paying for build quality. That's what a lot of CRK is. You're paying for the fit and finish, attention to detail. Yeah. It's not necessarily performance of blade steel, but at the same time, Magna Cut S90 CPM 20 CV. These steels are not that much more expensive than RWL34, S35 VN. There's not that big of a price difference.
How much more expensive are they to polish up to a mirror polish?
They're a bit more, for sure. But if you're charging $749 for an iMamba, okay, that's not a fair comparison. $450 for the plain iMamba, nothing in it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at because I'm boring. But yeah.
Yeah, figures.
That sounds about right.
And I guess we should talk about the Yaru, because I think it's the only one we haven't just yet.
Well, but yeah, like I said, they're turning a Suru into a Yaru, and they changed from M390 to S90. So
we're on option number 1, and we've been here for a half an hour. Going good, boys.
Between the intro, it's
and then bullshitting. And
All right, but yes, having said that, that's pretty much all I'm gonna like. It's the same damn knife. I like Jesper Box's designs, don't get me wrong, but you got to call it what it is. There's not much change between this one and a Suru. And a Suru surprisingly won a bunch of awards as well. So why not Warncliffe it a little bit or harpoon it or whatever you want to do? And
It kind of looks like the blade on my PBT now.
A little bit.
Yeah, tiny bit.
With the finger choil, I guess.
So, but yeah, I still like it. Don't get me wrong.
It's not as cool as, is it the Saturn that they released last year? That's just nowhere.
Was that? Yeah, I think that was Fox that
That's
did the Saturn.
The composite blade with the copper.
Yep, sure is. It was.
Lock.
Yeah, with the not their arc lock, the radial lock, I think is what they called it.
Anyway. Yeah. What do you guys think in the comments? Who should have won? Should the Monterey Bay win? What do y'all think for your pick out of these guys? What should have won?
Out of these options?
Yeah.
I think the people that won should have won.
Yeah, me too. All right.
I'm not entirely convinced, but let's move on anyway.
No, but
what would have you picked? Don't beat around the bush, you bastard.
Don't beat that bush.
Like, I want to say the Barnes only because it's an integral with better blade steel, but by the same token, it's just a little bit more novel. It's not that much more radically different than anything else. By that logic, the Barnes?
What
is
it?
Is it not running M390 or it's M390? Yeah.
Is that better than Magnica?
Better than the 154 that they linked. If we're gonna go,
but the entire article talks about.
And yes, it is better than MagnaCut in terms of its edge holding.
The line being MagnaCut in particular in one of the sentences that they're talking about in the article, even type of So
essentially, if you value the minor bump in toughness that you get in MagnaCut over M390. Okay, I shouldn't say minor. It's a fairly substantial increase. But in a pocket knife, I don't know. I think I'd rather have M390. The benefit to MagnaCut is it's not incredibly expensive, though. Looking at the raw stock compared to things like 20 CV, so yeah.
Good answer.
No, again, I'm tempted just to say that James Barnes. Yeah. Largely due to the machining. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
I can't remember who it was. It might have been a couple weeks since we've seen him, but I think it was John in Mississauga. One of the Johns that joins us, I believe, actually picked up a Barnes and said that the thing was pretty damn awesome. So anyway, for what that's worth. Yeah.
Good to hear. Let me just close this up while I grab the next article.
Next topic. Yeah, see?
Shmeh. It was best new value folder.
Correct, sir.
Cool.
And they had a bunch of things.
They sure did. The winner, though.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Civivi Luby. So, this is a lot like the Wee Knives Eidolon in its form factor. Was this one of the models that actually ended up being a Nitro V? or
Nope, 1428 Sandvik, you sons of bitches.
I do like.
And
the
now
14
you
Sandvik,
can get
though.
a new version that's blacked out.
You sure can. You sure can.
Thanks,
I
assholes.
kind of like the gray version, though, to be honest. So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so that this looks like it's got the same kind of crazy deep hollow grind that we're used to seeing on Civivis and Wii's whenever they utilize it. It's a top flipper, liner lock, left or right compatible with pocket clips. That's nice to see. And yeah, one of those little top flippers, which again, I think we were a little bit dubious when we saw these teased a while back. But oh, fair enough. I remember being perhaps I'm misremembering, but I seem to remember being a little kind of like, I don't know how that's going to turn out.
No, me and Paul were both on board with it. I was less
Fair
on
enough.
board when they mentioned Sandvik instead of Nitro V, but yeah, right off the bat, this was like my Blade Choice award out of what shit came out from Civivi. This was the little guy that caught my eye more than anything else.
Right.
And it still does. And if the action is anything like the Eidolon, it's probably worth it.
Exactly what I was going to say.
So,
and I will say, in a budget knife, I'm always excited to see 14C Sandvik, especially knowing how Civivi he treats them. I think that's a fantastic choice.
Yeah, and honestly, for the price too, the $60 that it's worth, which would probably be close to 80 polar bear dollars. Yeah, that's not a bad price for what you're getting out of one of these little bitches.
So let's take a quick look here at the competition. Let's see.
It's basically a budget Eidolon.
Yeah, essentially.
Week.
So there's the Buck Knives Budgie, really. The CRKT FRN Provoke, all right. Gerber Affinity, K-Bar BK40, Ontario Knife Company Ultra Blue, and the Real Steel Knives Luna Eco. ECO? Echo. So starting with the Buck. So actually, interesting competition. I was interested to see that in the list, mostly because I knew that the Budgie comes with S35. And yeah, it's a frame lock, rather slow opening with a thumb hole. American MSRP here, yeah, you're bumping up from basically $60 to basically $90. So yeah, bit of an increase, but you're getting S35. You're getting much better performing blade steel, albeit a shorter blade overall.
Anyway, continue on with other. Did we go through them all? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just listed them out and I'm just kind of visiting them in terms so we can get our thoughts.
It's way too small. It's way too small.
I don't think we've actually reviewed this one on the channel, but this is one that we've all played with. And it's a small little knife. Like, I don't think I even have anything on hand that's quite as diminutive.
If you're looking for a knife that's similar in usefulness as a Dragonfly and you don't like the style of a Dragonfly, maybe this might be something that appeals to you for sure. I don't think the fit and finish other than the blade stock. And yeah, I like Paul Boss's heat treatment on whatever, blah, 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 whether it's S35 or whether it's 20 CV or S30 or whatever. Like, it's, probably means that the steel is pretty reliable type of thing. But if that's all I'm buying, and I'm buying subpar centering and frame locks that are inconsistent and blade play that you can't get rid of and blah, blah, blah. Like,
it really is that level of inconsistency. I mean, from a design aspect, I'm a little hung up about the overall size difference. This is going to be less useful to more people, specifically because it is overall smaller, but knowing Civivi's penchant for keeping things nice and tight and screwed down and centered at the very least.
If anything, you're going to slide it on usefulness, that might segue us into the next knife up first.
Yeah. So there's a Provoke. Hey, they linked us to the exact one that I own, the Provoke in orange.
That's not something to be proud of, Joe.
No, okay, but I bought this specifically because I think the only other folding karambit I have is the Cold Steel Tiger Claw, and I wanted something a little bit more ridiculous, and this actually fit the bill. That being said, the mechanism's cool, absolutely. It's kind of singular in its purpose, though, and difficult to open in any other way other than a reverse grip, which basically stonewalls it into a tactical emergency response knife, which is why I don't really carry the thing all that often anyway, unless I just want to, like, hey, check this weird shit out to one of my friends. Um, the other thing, this is using 4116 stainless, which is my biggest gripe about this knife overall. Like, more so than the polymer handles, more so than anything else. It's that blade steel, and honestly, that alone completely disqualifies it from the rest of this list. Not even talking about how thick it is behind the edge. Like,
I'm still waiting for them to just put out a
That's
Warncliffe version with a straight edge.
that'd be kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
the thickness behind the edge is what disqualifies it for me, but mainly because it's not really a very good cutting tool. So,
Yeah,
when
like
it comes to budget knife of the year,
Isn't it both single bevel and V ground?
Yes, it is. I actually have. Do I not have it on hand? I think I actually put it back in the drawer. But you're totally right. It is chisel ground but V beveled. At two different angles, also. I'm pretty sure. So there's that. I don't think there's much else to say about it other than I think the only reason they added this is because they wanted to have a CRKT in this list. But of all the CRKTs to choose, they chose this one. Like, no way. Totally a non-starter.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are usually non-starters, Gerber, the Affinity aluminum is what they had chosen for this entry. So for 40, sorry,
do you know the big, huge selling feature on this knife?
is it the adjustable?
Damn
Yeah.
Skippy, it's the adjustable thumb stud.
Yeah. So.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole thing about it here. You could adjust where the thumb stud actually sits.
So if you look at the picture that Joe was on with the silver knife, the thumb stud is actually right at the very back of the edge itself. If you look at this particular picture, now it's halfway up the knife.
Yeah, I'd like to bring these up into a different tab so I can zoom in on them, but I don't know if they're going to let me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that thing you can slide. Sorry if you're hearing a kitten scream in the background. She wants to go out, I guess. But yeah, so okay, this is a game changer, right? How you could move your thumb stud up and down the blade, just totally get in the way of the cutting path of the blade if you set it completely forward.
I was looking to see if I had my my buck with the ready stud available, but I'm pretty sure these things have existed since like the 60s.
Quick stud, yeah.
Now the quick stud,
Maybe
yes,
80s.
but this is built into the blade itself, so it's better. Oh, also the blade steel is 7CR, and it's got aluminum covers. So do with that information what you will.
39 American dollars for that fine piece of craftsmanship.
Now here's the thing. I actually don't dislike the overall lines of this knife. It's relatively pokey and slender. It's kind of cool. The hollow grind looks like it's done decently well.
So, okay, you're picking apart a garbage Gerber knife, but the one thing I'm
in the middle of complimenting it. What are you talking about?
No. Let's be honest here. Hollow grind. They're compensating for the fact that it's probably a thick behind the edge, and the hollow grind doesn't start till halfway down. So I still think it's probably thick as fuck. But what I like is the features on the website. They call it a pinch plate, the over travel stop.
A pinch plate?
Oh yeah, baby. The good old pinch plate.
Pinch plate.
So you're not trapping the frame lock against the bar of the knife.
Oh, I see.
They now call it specifically a pinch plate.
So you get pinched by the plate.
There it is. Oh yeah. Good old pinch plate.
Can somebody explain to me why 7CR in a knife like this? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm into that. But then you show me something like this, and I'm like, 7CR? You get away from me, you filthy fucking casual.
I don't know. I think there's just an expectation of slip joints to just be kind of crappy in terms of edge holding, like traditional slip joints. The best you can hope for most times is something like D2 or 1095 or yeah.
T10.
Yeah, or T10. And to be fair, the doctor's knife from Buck actually gets a ton of use around the house. It's fantastic. It's 420 high carbon. It's not heat treated super duper hard, but it's decent. But for, I don't know, for $40, I think that's an okay price for what this knife probably is. But what is it at the end of the day? Like, I could pay twice this and end up with $8 with S35V and blade steel. Sure, it might not be centered, but it's S35 heat treated by Paul Boss.
No, it's not.
No.
This is a knife you can sell at Walmart, is what this knife is.
Yeah. But I don't think that qualifies as the best of anything. So
the best of
adjustments made by Shane. I'm assuming they're talking about the thumb stud.
Don't worry about it. I guess we can move on to the next one. Eh?
Yeah, please.
K-Bar, the Becker Folder. To be honest, I completely forgot about this thing.
Is it as thick as a regular Becker?
Well, where's this? Did it?
I don't think so. Blade thickness 0.138.
Oh, I'm terrible. What is that in millimeters? 3.5. Okay, so it's a little thicker than average, but not by much. Like pretty standard measurements.
Actually, to tell you the truth, the only thing I dislike about this knife is the fact that it's Oz 8.
Yeah.
If they made this same knife in D2, I'd be like, this is my winner. This is my pick. I like the clip point blade on it, and it's got like this Ontario rat looking handle, but don't tell Ontario.
Well, just like the Ontario rat, I wonder if they will do a D2 version at some point, if they aren't already planning on it.
Because K-Bar hasn't jumped on the D2 train nearly as much as other companies have yet. But anyway.
No.
It clearly has a wire clip too, which scores points for me.
Yeah. So, all right. On to, I don't know if anyone wants to pick this one apart, but honestly, I like this knife. It
honestly looks pretty good. The ergos look solid. The fact that you have a 4-position pocket clip, very cool. It's a thumb stud, and I think I've seen somebody on video popping this thing open, and it flies open like a rat. Like it's nice.
Without actually having read it, if you close the picture of this knife and scroll down to the very first comment and rating and review for this.
The one by Chris Ferris there?
Yeah, you bet.
I love the design. I really hope we get to see this in a D2 steel or maybe even something a little nice. And some micarta handles. Fuck yeah, man. That's exactly it.
I actually read the comment, and as soon as he did, I was like, I wish they get to see it in D2. I'm like, that's what I'm effing talking about, man.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do like that blade shape, though. I like that style of clip point.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Friends of the North, Friends of the South.
And me.
And Paul.
And special guest, Paul.
Yeah.
Special. He's his own friend. He lives in the Snorth. It's
not a fan of that. Oh, Fisk, hello. Here's a kitty for you.
Anyway.
Next knife, eh?
Ultra Blue 22.
So this is actually okay, but isn't this also like just a redone, gussied up re-release of a knife that they already made? Like I thought that was part of what they talked about in the Knife News article that talked about this thing. Or was it that they came out with two different versions?
The Ultra Blue and the Wraith, I believe, was the other one. And the Wraith is taken off, and they're still trying to push the Ultra Blue. But it really just kind of looks like an Airlight.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, slightly skinnier Airlight with a frame lock.
And if they had milled out that fuller, they could have put a sliding thumb stud in it. That's seriously.
Oh, Oz 8 again.
They missed out on an opportunity there, I'm telling you.
Okay, so Oz 8 with the titanium frame lock. I remember when there were companies like Spyderco's Bird lineup. They did a titanium handled HCR bladed Metal Lark or whatever it was.
They did a Finch and a Metal Lark, and they did a couple TI versions. Yeah.
Kershaw also came out with I remember the titanium. Was that the Dimension? It was a titanium button lock. With HCR.
There was a couple different titanium ones.
Yeah, this is in that same kind of realm of titanium handles, but kind of a really basic blade steel. I don't know.
Well, they've been cheaping out like that. Like I have a titanium Vapor from like early 2000s, late 90s. That was a titanium handle with, I think it was 6. And I'm pretty sure if I like breathed heavily on the titanium, the anodizing would go away. Like,
Right.
it's just base level, whatever type of thing. I bought it because it was an old knife that hasn't been made for many years. And the guy was like parting it with nothing. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But
This looks like the anodization that I got the first time I flame anode my knife, which looked amazing as soon as you wiped it down with some kind of high alcohol cleaner.
Yeah.
And then you touch it and that color would go away.
So there's a reason why most, and when I say most, I'm saying probably 70%, if not a little bit more, of anodized titanium knives tend to have at least like a stone wash, if not a full-on bead blast or tumbled finish. When you have this high polish, as soon as you get any kind of oil or grease on it, it just completely changes the color. And you don't get as
I'm gonna get some oil or grease on it.
well. I was just gonna say my Spyderco Phoenix sure looks kind of fucked up if I don't wipe it down with Windex. So it is what it is. But it's definitely a lesson that's not necessarily learned here. And the sad part is they probably could have got the price a little bit lower had they just sandblasted it instead of. I'm assuming they put on kind of a polish to this, but
no. But the only thing that they're doing on this guy is selling the titanium, right? Like they could have put
that's the reason
420J. Yeah.
That's the reason to buy this knife is if you want something with a titanium handle and you don't want to pay the premium for better blade steel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's that come in at Canadian? $80?
Yeah, 85. Yeah, something like that.
Can you think of anything else on the market with a titanium handle for $85?
For 85?
Like I don't think even the birds came in that low.
No, those were in and around 100 when we had them, I think.
But I mean,
how important is a titanium handle to you, though, realistically? Like, at the expense of good blade steel?
I'm sure they're out there, and even just the quality of the titanium itself. Like, it's, yeah.
There's people out there that don't know that don't see the difference because they're so abusive to their knives.
This is true. I guess, yeah, we shouldn't preclude the fact that there are uses for softer blade steels or less wear-resistant blade steels. It's difficult. It's a difficult pill to swallow at $63. That's all.
I'm going to throw slag, but they're messing with the price point from the same guys that Tucson knives. So if you went to AliExpress, I bet you could find some titanium handled stuff for $80. Like, so they're competing with that market right now.
S90.
Well, and that's just it. This is
may or may not be A2. Don't worry about it, CRKT. Anyway,
pretty sure their S35 is actually S35 if that means anything to you. But that is a good point. This is Chinese.
It's also their M390 is S35 and their S90 is S35 too. But you know, at least their S35 is S35. It's,
just be aware. Just be aware.
Anyway, let's roll it here.
Yeah. So the last one here is the Luna.
It's not the last one. You forgot the steel wheel Fjord.
Oh, right. That was the one that wasn't listed.
That was in the budget. But anyway, the Luna.
Okay, well, the Luna. So this is another what appears to be titanium, if that's not steel, with another clip-on stud. Isn't that cute? Right. This gave you a couple of different options.
Stainless steel. It says in the description.
Cool. This guy gives you a number of different options as far as opening. You have the nail nick looking groove as well as the tab screw-on thumb stud, the slide-on. I think there's a screw along the top. I just don't think they show it off in the photos here. That's too bad.
Detachable thumb stud. Yeah.
But you are dealing with D2 tool steel, which is nice.
You'll note all of the pictures have the thumb stud in the same spot. They're like, put it here because this is where it makes sense. Pretty much.
And if you're confused at all about that, just think what would happen if you're cutting through any kind of thick material and your thumb stud is right here. It's just going to bind up if you're using that section of the blade. It's not ideal. But you could still do it if you wanted to. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. I'm just going to say you're silly for doing it. That's all.
You're wrong, and I hate you.
Coolest thing about this knife is the fact that it has K110, which is a Bowler powder steel version of D2, basically.
Sorry, K110, not D2. I misread that. Yes, that is very cool.
So
I
yeah.
really do like the Luna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a knife that's come in a number of different formats now and a number of different materials. But having a frame lock with K110 is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm stuck.
wasn't that
I like it. I've had a Luna on my like kind of budgety list for a while. So
yeah? And honestly, at the price this is coming in at, even at the MSRP at 55, that's pretty damn good.
Sorry, I just dropped a blade on my thumb. Like
Oof.
it dumb.
Yeah. Also, let me know if you guys are hearing any rattling in the background. My cat's playing with a toy that I might have to disassemble in a minute.
Fisk would put the thumb stud wherever he wanted. In this case, it's in the trash can with the rest of the knife.
Hateful.
Why are you going to be hating on that one, man? We have reviewed a lot of shitty knives, and this is far from the shittiest knife that we've reviewed. You didn't say those things about a budgie. Like,
This is a frame lock that isn't a Sabenza 21, so obviously it's going to be subpar no matter what we say.
This was my carry for the evening.
He didn't show up for that. You should, scroll up on the comments. We mocked him. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
We have a spammer there, Joe, if you want to take care of that. Yeah.
What the hell is with these people?
So, and then last, yes, steel wheel Ford. Kind of a weird top flipper with a nail nick. Is this one better, Fisk? It has thumb studs on the top, on the friction folder lock thingy, tab, whatever. Those are words. Shut up.
This is why history will forget my name. No, that's not the only reason.
The only reason. What are the other reasons, Paul?
I'm not gonna fucking say them on stream.
I'm not gonna list them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for the book later.
Sorry, I'm just bringing up the steel wheel Fjord. Where the hell did that guy go? Because I think we're at 8:12. We need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Oh, I only have one more category and then the overall, so we can probably pound it out pretty quick. But yeah.
Fair enough. This is the steel wheel Fjord. 85.
What I'm talking about. Look at the thumb studs. Look at the top flipper friction folder tab. Look at all the placement of the terrible things. And look at the price for those terrible things.
Yeah. Okay, so you're getting D2. You're getting a... Why the hell is the stud only on one side? But the pocket clip... But you could put the pocket... But you could put the pocket clip on the left-hand side. Why? Can you swap?
Because you can unscrew the...
I don't think you can.
And flip it over.
No,
I don't think you can. That screw looks like it's countersunk. So if it's countersunk, I highly doubt that the stud is also countersunk on the other side, because that wouldn't leave any material in the center.
You don't know.
I don't know. Either way, it could just be a D shape on the thumb stud, and then you could flip it.
The more important thing is there's no nuts in the handle scale.
Yeah, you can't flip it because when it's open, it only notches the one way. Yeah. So we're supposed to Spidey flick it or two-hand open it because they hate lefties, apparently. So
they hate lefties, but you still get your pocket clip holes for lefties. So make up your minds, man.
It's a top flipper. You could probably it's ambidextrous, basically, right?
Is anybody else concerned about getting caught with a thumb stud between that and the scale?
I'm concerned about a lot of things on this knife, but
I feel like I'm gonna pinch my thingy.
I don't think so, only because I'd be pushing the tang of the knife in this case. So it's I honestly don't see I don't see how or why I would use the stud over the tang.
I think they put the pocket clip option to lefty carry because they like to see lefty struggle. Quite honestly,
that could be it.
Figure it out.
Honestly, this thing is enough of a cluster. You know what? It kind of reminds me of the Luna, the way it's the lines, but
yeah.
So
I said, you can throw this one in the garbage. Keep the Luna around a little bit. Jesus.
Yeah. Turns out, Real Steel and Steel Will are just they're the same company. They're just fucking with us.
Yeah, they're not far off. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not interested in the Fjord at all.
Well, like I said, as soon as I pointed out the thumb stud, that's also a stop pin, that's also a friction folder. Yeah.
It's
It
just
reminds me of the Luna in that it also is getting thrown into the trash.
Look,
Man.
they match.
Fisk, the horse is dead. You gotta stop, man. It's already dead.
All right, then we've gone through all the budget lists. If it was your choice, Fisk, which one wouldn't you throw in the trash?
Yeah, as a refresher, you got the Fjord, you've got the Luna, the Thai 22 Ultra Blue, the Becker Folder. What is that actually? Yeah, just called the Becker Folder. You have the Affinity from Gerber, the Provoke from CRKT, and the Buck Budgie.
So all the Beckers are, well, all of them are numbered. Some of them have names like the Companion and the Crewman and the blah, blah, blah. This one's a BK40. Just.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good to know. Oh, and the Civivi Lumi.
And the winner.
Yeah.
The winner, the Lumi. Yeah.
The only American-made option here is going to be the Buck.
Well, Sabenza 21 won it, but that is lying on a pile of dead bald eagles, sitting triumphantly on top because America.
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 They're not endangered in our country anymore. Just take note. So, yeah.
Fantabulous. What about you guys? You guys got a top pick out of the bunch that isn't the Lumi?
I'm conflicted.
Same, TBH.
I like the Luna more, but the Luna's not a new design. Even you frame locked it, but the Luna has existed for a couple of years, right?
Not with the K10 110 as well as the.
No, but
both of those things are new. Yeah, steel change as well as a.
Yeah.
The overall design has been around for sure, but I think having it in a frame lock is different enough because for some people who wouldn't consider a slip joint, I don't know. I think
it's not. He's justifying it. That's bullshit. The other Lunas aren't slip joints either. They do have a slip joint, but I do believe they actually have.
Titanium frame lock, don't they?
Really?
I don't know if it already existed before 2021. That might have been the Eco.
I'm pretty sure this is the first locking variant.
Either way, I would choose this over the Civivi, but that was my conflicting. You helped solve my confliction.
Okay.
Confliction?
Sure,
that's
why not?
Almost a thing. Yeah.
Over the Civivi. And this is the thing too. It's the best new value folder and best bang for your buck. I'm kind of inclined to agree with you. Best return for dollar value. It's either going to be the Luna.
So I don't know what the difference between the Boost and the Eco are, but there's different series of Lunas. So there is a Luna Boost that's a titanium frame lock. Now this is the Luna, and it has N690 for the steel. That's not $400 because they're not based out of Italy. But yes, there is also a Luna Eco.
So is it Eco, like economic? Is that why they're calling it Eco?
Maybe.
Because it is substantially cheaper than the other options.
An Eco version because it's budgety and that's the category that it's in, whereas the other one is twice the price, if not 3 times. Yeah.
Also, if the Provoke Orange is allowed to be in this category.
I wasn't gonna pick the Provoke Orange. I wasn't saying. I was saying for me myself.
It's hard to pick this one because it is just a variant type of thing, whereas at least the Lumi is a new knife. Yeah.
That's it. But I'm conflicted about the Lumi because it's not in the Nitro V.
I see. And Fisk, like we were dabbling on the Becker thing. If they could just step it up to something that's not garbage, then which is what can be said about K-Bar Becker in Ontario quite a bit, is if they stepped it up to something that was worth buying, I'd probably buy it. So, yeah.
I think I'd agree with that.
And rip my eyes out and wash the sockets with bleach. That's a hell of a term. Yeah.
That's a fucking terrible visual. Why did they put it tip down?
Because tactical magazines from the 90s. That's my default answer on that one.
Yeah, I know, and I hate it.
As you should.
The Ontario Tanto thing is tip up or tip down only righty.
If you want to carry it lefty, you have to carry it tipped out and backwards.
That's right. Get used to it.
That sucks. At least this is four-way.
Tipped out and backwards. A memoir.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm just leaving that alone. Okay,
let's tip down and backwards is how babies are made, apparently, according to trades.
I refuse to verify that. Okay,
I didn't realize it was tipped down past the bleach. Good stuff.
Okay, but it's only tipped down from factory. You can switch it. It's not stuck that way. Although it is a wire clip. It's that.
No, but you can't unsee it. It's one of those things. Like when you walk in to the bedroom, you just can't unsee it. It's
Dun dun dun. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't unsee that either. There's a reason
no.
I don't own a military.
Yep. Kind of sucks. Not gonna lie, kind of sucks, but whatever.
Anyway, I'd probably take the Luna. I don't care. I like K110. I've got that CRKT, and it's actually a really nice steel. So, and then with the frame lock and the Luna, and
for the price, this would have had my pick, even over the Eidolon lookalike, the Lumi. As much as I love 14C, fantastic steel, don't get me wrong. But that Luna. Yeah, that Luna.
All right, we got 2 more categories. Moving on.
Yeah. Let's burn our way through it.
Best new folder.
So many tabs to close. All right. Best new folder. That is a wide category.
There's a lot, so we got to power through here hard, boys. The winner was the AD Demco 20.5. Surprise.
Sure was. There's not a lot of chance of me deviating from that by a personal pick if I'm being truthful here. Okay, so very quickly, the other options were Benchmade Claymore, Boker Quaken OTF, Buck Onset, Case Marilla, Fox Knives, Italico, SOG Terminus XR LTE, Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall. Ooh, okay, I may have spoken a bit soon. And the Wii Knife Co. Eidolon.
Why you gotta hurt me?
Okay, so first things first, elephant in the room. The 20.5 is the Taiwanese made version, not the American made version, and feel as you do about the economics of that. Oz 10A. Very cool new shark lock. Don't know how much stronger it's going to be over the Triad, but it is a thing. It's more fidgety. Those are the things that I'm going to be keeping in mind looking at these. First up, an item we can't actually get where we are, but whatever, we'll go over it. The Claymore. Benchmade Claymore. It's a push button auto. I will say, Benchmade does CPM D2 very well. I quite like it.
They better for freaking $230 American.
FRN handle. I do like the fact that they have the braille of like point this towards enemy or whatever on the handle.
That can't be what that is. It's too simple for that.
It's something like that. Like we'll have to ask.
Or
Zach.
Point forward or whatever the hell it is. It might actually say that there's not enough of a description here. Whatever.
There's not enough letters in there to be anything, but yeah, I'm sure it says something. It is braille of something for sure.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, FRN handled automatic with D2. Best new folder? I don't know. I mean, it is true that automatics are now more widely acceptable in the States. But it's not everywhere, and you're still dealing with a lot of length laws, so I don't... And FRN...
Yeah, they did it 3.6 just to be a dick about the whole thing, for sure, on the blade length.
Oh yeah, you're definitely over 3.5. Also, I noticed they're using the sharpening choil weird. That might actually be for the button, but I don't know 100%.
It probably looks like it actually now that you mention it, for sure. Yeah. It's the retention thing. Yeah. Yes, but I don't think that belongs in the running of
The fact that
Best
they're
new.
using injection molded plastic instead of something a bit more substantial is kind of upsetting. Yes, I know FRN is durable and it's whatever. I carried an Endura for many years. A fine knife, but you have so many other options.
I'm hearing the sound of a Griptilian every time somebody pushes this button, right?
This would
That's
probably
the
be
you're getting.
that would probably be quite loud actually.
Yeah.
Now that you
Yeah.
mention it, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, at least there's an
Sure.
included safety, so there's that.
You can announce when you're opening your knife.
So here's another automatic, one that I'm actually a bit more excited about. The Quaken. So I figure if
Fisk's comment about the tactile Rockwell is a nice model made by Quiet Carry. Oh wait, that's kid stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not a Quiet Carry. It just plays one on TV. It's
well,
anyway. Quaken
we'll get
OTF.
to
Sorry to derail you there, Joe.
I was
but
going to say
yeah.
that tactile, just for the record, I believe those are all made in the States, but for whatever that's worth. Quaken OTF. So it's an offset OTF, meaning the blade is just closer to one side of the, like one handle scale than another. It's D2. There's not a hell of a lot of texture to speak of, and it looks like the Quaken folder.
Kind of.
To a degree. Yeah. The butt end in particular is reminiscent from the handle, but yeah, it's really relying on that blade shape. Personally, I figure if I'm going to have an automatic, I'd rather have it be fidgety as hell, and this is a bit more fidgety than a push button, but yeah, that's about it.
Other models I'd rather have if I was allowed to have something like this.
Well, I'm gonna overpay for Benchmade's D2. I might as well overpay for Boker's questionable heat treatment on their D2. Why not?
Well,
why not?
No, but this isn't just Boker Plus. This is Boker Plus automatics, which means they're being made, I think, in the States by what was it? It's not ProTech. It was another relatively well-known pair.
That's the one from Texas, isn't it?
I think so. I'm drawing a blank on the name now. God damn it. I actually was trying to remember this bit of information.
But they weren't crazy high end. They were middle of the road OTF company.
Quality OTFs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Quality for something I've never handled. Yeah. Supposed. Yeah.
By reputation, the heat treat was fairly on point, and that was kind of the big deal. It's the same guys who are doing their battle songs if you're playing at home and want to research this on your own time. But honestly, I don't know. This kind of looks like it would suck as an OTF, just given the lack of texture or shape to the handle at all. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't mind that kind of thing, generally speaking. I don't know. This looks like it would be a little bit too slick. Like, even grooving like this, just give me something. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was talking over you anyways. I was an asshole. The blade thickness to handle width, I don't know what it is. There's something about it. I don't like it. The handle seems really blocky for what.
Just because we can't play with OTFs, and if anything, I don't know. It's a box with a knife again, and I'm sure it is very functional box with a knife. But that's kind of how I have most of my opinions about OTFs. And,
Fair enough. Yeah. All right.
And then the Buck Onset, because someone had to make a nicer Kershaw amplitude, so Buck did.
Hey, at least this is fully flat ground. It's
Is the amplitude not a fully flat ground?
No, I thought. Oh wait, no, the amplitude was hollow grind. I might actually prefer that a little bit. I'm pretty sure the amplitude is hollow ground. Damn it, I have to look it up.
I'm like, what? You're just spouting nonsense here.
I'm pretty sure it's the. I'm pretty sure it's the hollow ground little blade. Now that I'm thinking about it, but
it is hollow ground. Yes,
it is. Yeah. Okay, so I take that back. I'd probably prefer the hollow grind over the full flat. Anyway,
but the amplitude 3.25 is a full flat. The smaller amplitude is a hollow.
Oh, okay.
So they did both. We're both right.
Well, why not? Okay, so this feels like cheating, but having seen, I'm pretty sure, I think it was a Cedric Anator review on this thing, or another Buck that was very similar. No, you know what? I'm pretty sure it was this one because he was making a big deal out of the S45 VN, which this is. the fit and finish and the general quality control on Buck lately doesn't seem to be hitting the mark more often than not. So this whole thing about made in USA is like, hey, great, but if you're going to compare that to Civivi or Wii or anyone else, it's the real steel. No. If I can't count on my action to be as smooth as a knife made in China, why am I buying in the States anyway? Like, if it's going to be that crap quality. And not saying that there's anything wrong with the actual steel or the quality of the materials themselves, but if the fit is that bad, I don't know.
And I don't know, because I haven't handled this knife, but for 186 American, it's a very simple design and with potentially questionable, fit and finish on it, right? So you can't say 100% one way or another, but what's that, Paul?
I said sometimes you get bucks and they're absolutely great.
Yeah.
And then other times you get them and you're just like, oh, how did this make it out of any factory?
And they're still working on perfecting that perfect clip. They haven't got it so far. I mean, they tried again on the budgie, and then if you look at the clip side picture on this one, it's like, yeah, Buck's still working on that. Uncle Randy does not know how to make a good clip. Let me tell you.
At least it's not shaped like an anchor anymore.
Yeah, they're just trying to emulate Benchmade's penis clip, and they only they put eyes on it.
Just call it dick face.
Whatever you say, Squidward. Yeah, it is a Squidward face. Okay, the other thing to keep in mind too, this is $186 American, and it's a stainless steel frame lock.
Yeah, it's not TI. Yeah, but they're still playing off of their S45 garbage, right? So.
I'd hesitate to call it garbage, but it's flat G10 and flat stainless steel that I don't think has been countermilled at all.
More, not so necessarily the S45 being garbage, more of the marketing behind it and being able to, yeah,
a little bit. So I think that more or less summarizes our thoughts and feelings on that particular knife.
Yeah, is Jason
Also,
Guthrie related to Uncle Randy Fisk? I'm not sure.
Look at before we go, look at the way the pocket clip is oriented over top of that screw. If you want to adjust that screw head at all, you have to completely remove the clip. It looks like it's just such a secondary, last minute, just okay, slap a clip on somewhere. Is there good? Yeah, sure, whatever, fine, fuck it. And they just made it. That
they had a clip that they had made, and they were like, I don't know how, but we got to figure out how to get this clip on this knife. Keep adjusting it until it fits.
Yeah, and Anyway.
Good times. All right. Case Marilla.
Kind of cool to see Case doing some frame locks. I gotta say. Now they call this a new knife, but was it last year that they had those aluminum frame locks that were red and blue and whatever else? Are these not the same thing?
American Made Knife of the Year at the Blade Show, which was August.
Okay.
Which is what these awards are for. Yeah.
Okay,
because they have it right on Case's website. They've got the award sitting in one of the pictures with the 3 knives.
Nice.
And it's a 2021 award. So
I do like the inlay.
Yeah. Kind of wish they did something on both sides, but I feel like
and
I say that about every frame lock that does.
The only reason I'd slag on this knife is because Case can't get their shit together on traditionals, and they're still overcharging for traditionals, so they figured they'd go into a modern knife market. And traditionals making a comeback on what they are. If anyone's seen 2022 catalog, slip joints mean a little bit of a thing this year. Why can't Case come out with some more slip joints and stay with the market?
If Case came out with some updated models, or just better QC across the board,
yeah, it's the latter. It's not the first one. It's not better models. It's better made models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their catalog is impressive. Their history even more so. I'd love to see them make a comeback this year, but if they're making weird reaches like this, who the hell knows how that's going to go?
Well, the thing, I don't dislike this knife, except for the weight on it. The milling on the handle looks like it probably weighs. How much does this thing weigh?
Well, it's aluminum, so it can't be that heavy.
3.6 is not too bad. Okay.
No, that's reasonable.
Looks like a brick. It looked like it was 6 ounces.
Yeah. And
did that lock have an over travel stop?
It's called a pinch plate.
Yes.
For the record.
Yes, it does. So I think the over travel stop is actually built into the lock interface, the same way that ZT does with their 450. Yeah. Speaking of which, this looks like a 450.
And Fisk, I was thinking sequel as well. As soon as I saw it as well.
For the blade shape and the inlay? Yeah,
The
yeah.
Benchmade sequel mixed with the 450. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Overall, not a bad looking knife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Italico from Fox is the next entry here.
Indeedly.
So M390, couple of different variations available. But the one that they highlighted here is the natural micarta with the satin blade. This is the only picture they have of it? Yeah, it sure is. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this one, to be perfectly honest.
It's
Anybody
gross.
else getting rock lobster vibes?
Yeah, a little bit.
What's the new stovepipe that just came out?
I was just gonna say, kind of stovepipey. Although this came first, I think.
Why?
Don't you tell me.
Anyway, yeah, I
Sheath
could care
Cordura.
neither here nor there. This is a middle of the pack knife that's like, yep, it got nominated. Sure did. Yeah.
I was gonna say I wish there were more pictures, but yeah, it's kind of a meh for me as well. On to the next one.
Yep.
Sheath is leather. I'm curious about that.
Well, it says Cordura on this page here. Or which one are you looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at the blue TI version, and
Oh.
apparently this one is. So apparently, if you buy a TI version, it comes in a leather pouch. If you buy a micarta or a G10 version, it comes in a Cordura pouch.
But you still get a wire clip if you prefer to not carry your knives like a psychopath on your belt. I'm just joking.
That's how you really feel.
I'm just joking, mostly.
As the man that probably has 2 knives on his belt right now.
You think I'm wearing a belt at this time of day? Although, yes, on my belt I do have.
I didn't say they were on your person. I just said there are probably 2 knives on your belt right now.
That's fair. I never did take them off the belt. I guess technically that's correct.
Goddamn bandolier sitting behind you like it's Anyway.
Asking if the stovepipe was based off of Kingdom Armory, and I think that's correct, isn't it?
Correct,
Yes.
sir. Yes.
Yeah, it sure is. Which
means it was probably there first. Anyway, the Italico has less teeth than Metallica. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Like the band members, or
like collectively, yes. Terminus XR LTE, you say?
Yeah, I hated the fact that I liked this knife.
Yeah, me too.
I played with one. It was way nicer than it should have been.
The action is satisfying, and they're
actually.
You
get to play with one?
Very briefly, yeah.
Okay.
So they're actually using steels that are worth a damn now, S35VN, which is kind of cool to see, at a price point that makes sense, $144.95.
a lot alike.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities here. They had their own interpretation of the axis lock, which I don't know if they actually say what they're... Is it the XR... Yeah, it's the XR lock. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an LTE version, which means there's a standard version as well, which isn't quite as nice, but uses their Cryo D2, which I think for the price is actually still reasonable. But I don't recall if the standard version came out last year or if they both came out at the same time this year. Either way, it's a really nice entry, especially for the price. And cool to see something functioning decently well from SOG.
We'll see how long that holds up with GSM buying them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's that whole thing.
True story. Yeah. But anyway, I am probably the lowest guy on the totem pole that will ever say that a SOG knife is actually nice, but this fucking SOG knife was actually nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what else is on the food chain? The Tactical Knife Co.
Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall. So
I'm going to call it Tactical Knives.
I mean, you're not wrong. So we're definitely jumping up in price here. You do get a choice between XHP, 20CV, or MagnaCut, all for the same $300 reduce. Tactile Turn, they're a knife company. Also, Tactile Pens. They used to do pens, or they still do pens, but it's a different company, but it's the same people. Yeah, and push buttons too, I think.
Okay.
So this thing has been talked about ad nauseum by Shabazz Metal Complex, a couple other big channels as well. And I think for good reason. There's not a lot to dislike about this knife, other than the fact that you can't swap it for a lefty clip. I don't know if there is a lefty option available. There's a flipper variant that came out around the same time. Yeah, I mean, it's just a pretty solid looking design. I do like the inclusion of the texture all the way up and down the faces of the knife, though. That to me is very nice.
Very clean lines. I dig that.
Yeah. You are paying for it. You're definitely paying for it. They're all. I'm pretty sure these are all made in the States.
$300 for 20 CV and titanium. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I've paid more for less.
Yeah,
I guess sure.
you sure have. As have we all. Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty solid entry.
And then last but not least, the Wee Knives, Eidolon. The oodalali oodalali, you know.
Lolly Lulelo. So we've got this particular configuration that they're showing here is the dagger with the black G10. However, there is a hollow ground version as well. And that's actually really similar to the Lumi. Was it the Civivi Lumi that we had up before?
Yeah.
But this is integral. It is a top flipper. It's 20 CV. And I could say after handling the hollow ground version in person, it is deliciously slicey.
Perfect.
for how narrow that blade is. It's
And,
damn near perfect, yeah.
And just to keep everyone updated, they're both the Lumi and the Eidolon are designed by Justin Lundquist. So
Yes,
when we say the very similar, we mean they're made by the same guy. Like it's
Same dude.
So.
Also similar to the Angst, and I forget was it Kaiser?
The
With
Feist.
the razor blade? The Feist. There's also another one released this year that has some kind of feels of the Angst.
They're all a Lundquist design. Yeah.
They sure are. Yeah.
So anyway,
Righty,
yeah.
pocket clip
I'm
on
into
this one. A little bit limited by the design, but I get it to a degree.
And as cool as that dagger blade looks, the right choice is the drop point. Or spear
Yeah.
point.
Let's see.
More drop.
I actually want to bring that up for the viewing audience. Oh, why don't we bring out the nicest version?
The carbon fiber one? The good one?
Yeah, the good one. The good one.
Yeah, the one that I'm going to overpay for.
Does
Just
that
look
have?
how pretty it is.
Oh, it's a black G10. I was like, is that two different kinds, like two different weaves of carbon fiber, one for the pivot collar, but it's actually G10. That looks really nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay.
Which knife wins? Which knife wins here, guys?
So as a reminder, the actual winner, comparing to everything else, was the Demco 8020.5. Now, in terms of overall hype and not accessibility. I'm used to saying that more budgety type options are more available, but actually, the case of the 20.5, for a long while there, it was like good luck getting them. I know they're available in some places. Some of the time, they routinely sell out. Stupid popular. I don't know if I directly disagree with the choice of this for the best new folder, but the choice of Oz 10A over S35 20CV Magna Cut XHP. I don't know. I have a tough time believing that the 8020.5 should be the best new folder. It's probably the best new locking mechanism that came out this year. I mean, I might vote for that, but best new knife overall, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
What is the best new folder and why is it the Eidolon?
Okay, so I will say the Eidolon's got a lot going for it. I mean, both the G10 and the carbon fiber versions are stupid lightweight. The blades are really, really functional. It's easy to open and manipulate. A relatively decent blade length. You can get some good work done.
Yeah. Okay, but back to the 8020.5, as far as making waves in the knife world, none of these knives made waves in the knife world like the 20.5 did.
No,
The
but
Eidolon didn't. The case knife kind of did, but more of a just like
You're asking
teehee.
me which one I would vote for. And
I know.
I would vote for the Eidolon.
But which one deserves to win? I think the 20.5 does deserve to win.
I think it's the most famous and it's the most interesting, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best. I think there's a difference categorically there. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily thinking I should vote for the SOG, as cool a knife overall as it is and how nice it is, especially for SOG.
Buy it while you can.
Sorry?
So buy it
while you can. Yeah,
while you can, yeah. So, okay, if you're looking for a shit kicker knife, I think the 80-20.5 is the best option on this list, 100%. If you're looking for something and you're actually concerned about cutting performance, I'd be tempted to say go with a Rockwall. Honestly, out of all of these.
Demko's asking about the 80-20 coming out in 2021. I'm not 100% sure. It might have been a 2020 thing just in the later months of 2020. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure the 80-20 was 2020, but the 20.5 came out, or was announced at the end of that year. Came out.
I don't know.
It was announced. I don't think it was available until until this year, or just last year, 2021. Yeah, no, I would still say the Rockwall. Just for the fact you can go 20 CVX HP Magna Cut, it's all the same price. And knowing how thin that blade stock is and knowing how deep that grind is, it's just going to be a better cutter. And if we're judging this thing on the value of a knife, and again, it's not like I don't like tanky stuff. Yeah.
It's down between the shark foot, this thing, and the Eidolon for me.
Shark foot.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's.
Don't get me wrong. As far as what I put in my collection, I mean, it probably would be the Tactile Knife Company. That's right up my alley. Just nice, simple thumb stud opening, high performing, blah 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 type of idea, right? But for who should probably win, I probably would vote for the Demko 20.5 just for the. It's going to make waves, and I'm pretty sure that lock is going to continue to make waves as far as it going out and being more public and being more made on the production level.
Dude, don't get me wrong. The Tactile Knife, there's nothing really... Okay, I shouldn't say nothing, but there's not really that much that's truly innovative about it. Whereas, yes, the Demko 80-20.5, yeah, definitely more innovation going on there.
Yeah, so I think the difference is like the what knife should win this award versus what knife I like most, I guess. Yeah, because the Eidolon I like quite a bit as well. And same thing with this. Yeah,
I'll still just make that argument that I think the Tactile is just a better knife, just a better performer. I think it's the best new folder out of these options, but I don't think it's the most interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I can't fault Paul for voting for the Eidolon because it's just a sweet little knife, but yeah.
All right, last category. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Get the show on the road.
All right.
And by that, I mean we're taking the show on the road. No, we're not.
We're not going on tour. We have like what, 2 viewers? No. But the best. Oh, that's kind of a funny. Oh no, we got 2 categories here.
Okay, well, the last one doesn't even count because it's just companies and who got the best company, and we'll talk about it briefly. But this is the last actual knife category.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's the best knife upgrade. So all those other knives are like, hey, isn't this basically just another version of that knife? Well, they actually made a category for it. So there. Yeah.
And all those other ones aren't in it.
Yeah, for whatever reason. So the winner clearly was the Benchmade Atomos. They thinned out the blade stock. They changed from CPM D2 to CPM Crew Wear, and they bumped up the price, I think, but mostly to keep up with inflation. Because I remember the original Atomos being pretty expensive when I bought mine.
Yeah, they didn't bump that much. It's for the material upgrade. But that's because they overpriced their D2 in the first place. But anyway,
they sure do. They sure do. It's not like I don't like it, but they sure do. Okay, so the other options that they had provided were the Buck Knives Paradigm, the Cold Steel 3V fixed blades. Really? Wait.
Anyway,
Really?
yeah, there's
Okay.
steals. We'll get to it.
The Kaiser Big Leader 2.0, and the Spyderco Salt 2 and LC200N. Okay, let's talk about that stuff. So the Buck, the Paradigm. I'm a huge fan of the Buck Paradigm personally. I think I'm a bigger fan of the original, and some of that may be rose tinted glasses. We talked a bit about that before. The original wasn't really all that different mechanically and in terms of material choices. So calling this an upgrade, I mean, they made it smaller.
Okay, the other thing with the upgrade attitude behind it all is like they upgraded, but they also re-released. So I mean, how many knives can you like on the re-released kind of platform? Because it's been gone for a while.
Yes.
At least the Atomos actually got an upgrade and just came back, whereas the Paradigm was like, oh yeah, we can dig this out of the archives and make it again.
5 years between them making it and anyway.
There absolutely has to be people out there that would say that the S30 is a better steel than S35 as well, right?
I'm one of those guys.
So, Fisk, talking about being here due to my contract, I gotta play out 8 games and then I'm off to Miami. Florida for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. No, it's just the last 2 weeks have been cracking the 2 hours, and if we don't get our asses like here, we're gonna do that, and we try to keep these things to an hour and a half if we can. Yeah. So yeah.
None of us have probably had dinner yet.
No. Anyway, continue on. Paradigm. Yeah.
They made autos. I just got to throw that out there. The upgrade for me would have been that they made an auto instead of just the assist, but they didn't link to it, so this is the assisted version.
I think the original ones had autos too.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I must have been completely blind to that, yeah.
Maybe was autos to the original one as well.
I just put it out of my mind because I'm like, I can't play those.
So, yes, Recon Scout you were just mentioning, or the Cold Steel knives in 3V. And it links to the Recon Scout.
So here's the thing. None of these knives are available yet, and we're out of 2021. So
just for the record, the Recon was. It was the only one that was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I retract that then. It was available. They had a drop
briefly because I had talked about it as a last minute thing in one of our live streams like a month and a half ago or so. So I was like, oh yeah, just for the record, this is out. I wonder when the rest of them will be out. The answer is never. It's including this one. It'll be back to coming soon. Yeah.
So, okay, I know we all have deep feelings about Cold Steel in general, but also 3V. I have a Recon Scout that I just beat the absolute hell out of, and it's SK5, and it performs very, very nicely. Would I like a 3V upgrade? Sure. How do you guys feel about the jump from like the 01 Trailmaster or the Gurkha Kukri, or in this case specifically, even though they list Cold Steel knives, the Recon Scout, from the old steel to this, which I believe was 01 on the most recent version?
Well, I'll see it when I believe it. That's the garbage part about it all. Is you call it an upgrade that we may or may not ever see. Do you call it an upgrade because they actually had like 10 Recon Scouts to actually sell to people, so it counted as being an upgrade for this year? Because it's garbage. Like, you also told us A2 that never happened. Now we're seeing 3V that's highly overpriced that may or may not even happen as well. You keep on talking about it. But let's see here where we go with this before we actually try to even nominate them for an award for a knife that may never get released. Yep. So,
all I was going to say on it is I love the Trailmaster, and I think Dennis has actually convinced me to put the money that I want to put into a 3V Trailmaster into somebody else's pocket for a similar knife, large 3V. Because you can basically buy a custom for that price.
Choppy. Do whatever you need to. Yeah. Well, and I mean, like I said, for a knife that may or may not ever happen. So why am I holding my breath here? So
I think that summarizes our thoughts and feelings pretty well on it.
What a level 3.
A big old womp.
So bag letter.
Yeah. So there's this thing.
So I don't know why this got nominated.
Well, it uses N690, And there's got to be at least one nomination that pisses you off. So here it is. No, but
Well,
seriously.
okay, so it's the N690 thing is only partially of what pissed me off. What actually pisses me off about this is they make a titanium S35 version of this knife already.
Yeah.
So how is this an upgrade?
This is like a lateral shift at best.
Well, no, this is a mild upgrade from the G10 D2 versions that they offer. But this
is this better
already
than
made
D2?
an upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, it's
yeah, so I
D2 over N690.
Personally, I don't think this would really this doesn't count for me. I wouldn't even be considering this.
Well, like I said, that's what upsets me more than anything
also,
else.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Already exists.
What did you say the original was made out of? In the blade steel G10, it was D2.
I want to say D2. I could be wrong. No, it's N690 as well. Wait. Something.
There's just the carbon fiber for $60.
Fuck.
Is it actually carbon fiber? Or is there carbon fiber stickers?
This looks pretty 2D, but it could just be the angle.
I don't know what makes it fancy.
No.
Is it peel ply?
I think it's
peel ply.
Ceramic ball bearings. I don't know what makes this knife an upgrade. I really don't.
Burn it.
Anyway,
that is
so confusing. I'm
no
so
thanks.
confused.
No thanks. On to the next thing.
The next offering, yeah.
Fucking useless.
And I'm looking at like Kaiser's actual website where it says new for 2021 on the products that are new for 2021, and they're all like not. They're reverse Warncliffe ones.
Yeah.
And the normal ones are just G10. So it's the peel ply carbon fiber that makes this a new for 2021 item.
Because they still have. Yeah, the standard has G10 and VG10, which is essentially the same steel.
Where are you seeing the VG10?
Oh, the blue one here. From the old Beglighter.
Okay. But then there's a green G10 and something else that had N690 that were not new for 2021 models either. Black G10 and green G10.
The black G10 N690, yeah.
Kaiser saw what Italy was charging for N690 and was like, oh, people think it's an upgrade.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe that even got nominated. All right. And the last knife, which is less of a joke.
Yeah, no shit, hey? The Spyderco Salt 2 with LC200N. This is the Delica sized one, isn't it? Because it's the Pacific Salt that's the bigger guy.
Yes, Pacific Salt is the Endura size. The normal Salt is the Delica size.
So if you want something rust proof in a fairly proven platform, LC200N is a fantastic steel for that.
Yeah, so that's actually not, on the last slightly more positive note, you actually get an upgrade that, changed from garbage steel to something that actually is going to perform pretty good. On still a relative budget price, it's getting up there a little bit in the price. It's not quite budgety, but neither was the H1 stuff. So,
but that's okay. This is still definitely an upgrade. In Shabaz's disassembly, he goes over how this actually differs from your traditional Delica. Quite a bit easier to take apart, this particular model. Very, very cool to see. Although, sorry, that might actually just be the Pacific Salt too. Maybe he didn't do this. I'm sure it's the same because they had to do a 2-part handle construction. There's no standoffs. There's no weird plastic backspacer. It's all molded into the same handle, essentially.
Okay. Joe just needs to take a minute and talk amongst himself. So just we'll let him figure out the answer. And
well, I had to figure that out. I had to. But yeah, no, I'm actually really excited about this being an option for people. There's a very real possibility I pick one of these up for myself just to have some LC200 and kicking around. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but normally you would expect better edge retention off of LC200N than you would off of like VG10. Or
yes, correct, sir.
Or even 154 CM. Like you're getting up there. So I think it's a worthy upgrade. Yeah.
It's like towards S30 as far as I understood. Not quite S30, but on the way there.
Like edging onto S35 kind of. Maybe not
Ish.
quite even
Yeah,
that
yeah.
good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still approaching. Yeah, I think that's a solid freaking upgrade, especially as VG10 becomes more and more of a budget steal every single year, and Delica still command the kind of high price points that they do. And yes, Japanese made, but how much does that mean in today, right?
Sometimes it doesn't mean all that lot.
That's fair.
Recently, they've been kind of not as good as they have been.
I've noticed a little bit about that. Yeah. So overall, with the Atomos being voted in, and with you guys both owning, although new model, the mini Atomos, what are your thoughts, feelings on that being the best upgrade? Do you disagree, or do you think that's probably the best choice?
And
I mean, that's
before we go on to best choice, Fisk did make a comment about different blade lengths. They did come out with a mini. Those ones do also specify new for 2021. The black one is not a mini, even though it goes from 3.43 to 3.56. So why they made it 0.15 of an inch shorter is very weird on that beg letter.
Spike.
But anyway, yeah.
It could be something to do with like European blade length legality. I know they have some funky blade limits out there, but
3.56, and the new one that's carbon fiber that shouldn't have been nominated is 3.43. So it's new.
It's under that 3.5 inch blade length.
Yeah, apparently.
But yes, best upgrade. I'm gonna have to go with the Atomos on this one. I really am.
Spyderco is the runner-up.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
And which being the runner-up?
Spyderco. LC200.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
The only reason I wouldn't say, and for me, it's really close. For me, the Salt 2 represents a better upgrade to the Delica for more people, but the Atomos was already so expensive. By bumping it up just a little bit more in cost and giving you that much better of a blade steel that actually makes sense in the role it's in. I think the Atomos just nudges out the Spyderco for me.
And I think the Buck paradigm, like it was S30 to begin with. So as far as an upgrade goes, yeah, they made it smaller. Yeah, they did a Cerakote instead of a whatever type of thing in the past. But
yeah, S30 to S35 is a lateral move.
It's only slightly more of an upgrade than the beg letter is. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And there's some personal bias in there for sure, but the fit and finish I'm not really all that impressed on the fit and finish with the new paradigms compared to the old ones. Maybe I have a bit more of a discerning eye now, but the more I think about it, like, no, I just don't remember seeing these problems. Pretty big problems, things like centering, things like not grinding the top of your flipper tab down to get rid of all the unsightly water jet marks, like just shit like that. Anyway.
Fisk, gotta fly. We're right behind you there, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a ton, man. Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah, we should probably power on through this. We're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone else in the comments, what would you pick? I think Cold Steel and Kaiser are a freaking joke. So anyway, that's just my opinion on that one.
The Cold Steel is more like a sad joke, though. Like, I wanted it to be real. I really wanted it to be real.
And then, lastly, we'll just dabble on it very quickly. Last award went to Best Overall Lineup.
We, Knifeco, and Civivi. Okay, it's hard not for them to win this category when they release so many fucking models a day. Like, I feel like there's some strong bias here.
Okay, so you know how I was saying about CRKT, winning awards when they were actually sponsoring blade shows and blah, blah, blah type of thing. And lately we and Civivi are the ones that are sponsoring the blade show and sponsoring Blade HQ and all the big heavy hitters lately type of thing. So it's, very, very funny. Very funny that sure enough, the guys that are sponsoring a whole bunch of these awards win the awards.
Go figure, right?
Who's up against them?
Well, okay, so Let's see.
So our
This
options
beast of
are
a brand.
Benchmade, Buck, CRKT, Kaiser, and Spyderco.
See, but it's not just them. They say this beast of a brand and its budget brother brought forth a batch of blades that could not be beat even by the likes of Benchmade, Buck, CRKT, Kaiser, and Spyderco. So
Okay.
does that mean that those are the only ones in contention, or was that
Well,
like every knife company?
No. I have the photo. I sent it to you of the nominees, and then you could write others. So technically, yes, every other knife company, if you're counting the others.
Right.
But
okay, so it was
best
Benchmade,
overall
Buck,
lineup.
CRKT. Yeah, I do see it here. Okay, fair enough.
So
yeah, that one feels incredibly stacked, but
well, like I was saying, I mean,
in that list for their releases for last year.
There's a reason that the CRKT CEO won Budget Knife of the Year, whatever it was, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, compared to every other Chinese company that actually deserved it.
Well, how many? And it's like the CEO is a great design, but HCR, whenever so many other companies are using D2,
thick behind the edge,
14C.
inconsistent bevels, soft screws. Yeah, the usual.
You can get a D2 CEO. I mean, you can't, but people can.
I mean, they can get an S35 version too that may or may not rust on you, depending on which S35 CRKT gives you. But
S35.
Well,
A2.
It depends on which. It depends on which S35 they give you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the thing. Like We Knife, and I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I think out of all the companies that are out here, I probably would deserve it. I probably would get my votes, and it's reader's choice. So, I mean, this also has to do with which knife companies are being thrown in front of your face a hell of a lot, and that might be the companies that are sponsoring a whole bunch of YouTube videos and things like that as well, right? So when you're getting a lot of exposure and there's more models that you're like, hey, yeah, they've got some stuff I like, the reader's choice might even be to vote for the company that you're getting more exposure to, right? So,
yeah.
It doesn't help that a lot of American companies are having problems getting stuff produced right now. Even American companies that are based in China. So,
and then just to wrap up as well, before we get too far into, Joe had mentioned, oh crap, I totally lost my train of thought there. Jesus Christ. Seeing stats on who actually voted, what the numbers were for voting. This is another one of those. I'd love to see the numbers of how many were voted for and what the other write-in companies and how many votes they had. This category in particular is probably more intriguing for me than a lot of the other ones, just to see like how many Fisks wrote Chris Reeve just to be a dick.
Well, yeah.
I mean, at least one did. At least one Fisk did. But there might have been more Fisks in this world that Chris Reeve was just like the silent under the microtext and companies that weren't even on that list, right? I'd be super intrigued on how many votes.
Like, what is the breakup of percentages? Like, how close was second place? I would be very curious to know that. But
they won by 1 vote.
And Ben, I lost my train of thought because it's past my bedtime, man. Come on. I'm going to yell at y'all to get off my lawn and then turn this fancy, movie box off so I can go eat some fixins.
That comment just aged me like 30 years.
Movie box.
Well, yeah, anyway, it's not like the old
movie box.
If this is the movie that you would like, press 1. No one's pressing 1 for this movie. Let's be honest here, guys.
Is that the leave button?
Yeah, it sure is. All right, end call. Yeah, we're done here.
All right, gentlemen. I think that wraps us up.
I think so.
Fairly whelming results.
Yeah. Whelming is definitely an appropriate way to put it.
Some good options, but definitely, like you're saying, it definitely seems that some companies get put there just because almost they're expected to be there.
I mean,
they're paying to be there.
My takeaway from this whole award ceremony thing is that they actually gave exposure to the handcrafted origins or whatever it was called, which is that local guy from Manitoba that is making those little tiny EDC fixed blades. And so I'm hoping that out of all of this helps that boy get some exposure. He made some nice stuff. I wasn't just looking at his knives, I was looking at other things too. So that's honestly, out of everything that happened with these awards, that's my own personal kind of like highlight, is like, good for you. Someone that's not an SE or a Spyderco or paying for sponsoring we and Savivi and blah, blah, blah. And it's just some guy making knives in Manitoba that got some recognition. So
I was going to say, it's a dude, it's not a company.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just dudes being bros.
All righty, gentlemen. I guess like and subscribe. Video, YouTube-y stuff. Thanks for joining us here. We've lost a couple subscribers along the way, but that's what happens when you got Damascus companies following you from time to time. So, share the videos, get us out there a little bit. To some other review videos, because these ones, we got some SHOT Show new stuff coming up. Those will be fun to talk about, but then we're going to get into some knife review stuff again. And
I swear to God, we'll do those short form review videos at some point.
Nah.
Nah. Oh.
Didn't get a
Lawrence Schmidt in chat.
Didn't get a comment till the end of the night. Dick Richards, both, and Lawrence Schmidt. Thanks for joining us here. Go back. We're gonna post live in 2 seconds here, and you can go back and watch all the highlights from the Reader's Choice Awards. So, someone else say something about social media. Come on.
Instagram. It's a thing.
Follow us on Instagram. You jerks.
Yeah. We post things sometimes. And by that, I mean Paul posts things sometimes. And as well, up and coming, we'll have some fancy surprises going out to our Patreon members as well. Not too many of you guys, but we really do appreciate the support. And a lot of what you guys are doing to send our way, we're just going to give right back to you guys as a thank you. So
it's going to be pretty exciting. So, yeah.
Looking forward to getting that all ironed out.
Awesome, guys. All right. On that note, we're going to wrap her up for the evening. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back next week, same bat time. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
Exile.ca.
Take care, guys. Thanks again for joining us. See you next week.
I said the same bat time, but I didn't actually say the same bat channel. I wonder if we're just going to confuse people. I don't know where they're going to be.
They'll figure it out.